I wanted to run you through a short summary of the years of work I've been doing now, the thousands and thousands of hours I have spent studying psychology and emotions and human behaviour and figuring out how we are the way we are, what leads to us being unfulfilled despite achieving so much in our lives, what leads to us being not feeling peaceful and content and just being dissatisfied, unhappy, miserable. And I like to, if I've got a superpower, it's the ability to take in information from all different places and put it together in a way that makes sense to me, makes sense to other people. So I like to put things in picture form sometimes, hence this to my side, which is just a little visual illustration of what we're going to talk about. So this is where everything goes back to. All of the problems we've got in our life, they all go back to childhood. So think about it, as you come out as a child, you're this whole human. You're the big outside circle on this picture. It's our true self. Everything about us is perfect. Perfectly imperfect as a human. We feel all our emotions, all of our thoughts are fine. There is nothing wrong with us. But what happens is we get handed over to these big ugly humans, usually our parents. If not our parents, then whoever is tasked with keeping us alive and raising us, whoever that was for you. And our system knows instinctively that we need these people to survive. So whatever they start saying to us or behaving around us, we adapt to be like them. We adapt to be accepted by them. We adapt to be loved by them, because we know if they don't love us, if they don't like us, if they don't accept us, we feel like we'll be abandoned. And if we're abandoned when we're a child, we'll die. So our system deep inside is all about survival and all about meeting our needs at a very basic level. That's all it cares about. So from the moment we're handed to these big ugly humans, we start being taught things. So think about this. If you've raised kids, this may resonate with you. And I often say to people, if you're going to do this work, the greatest gift you can give any child of yours is to do this work on yourself, because you will transform their life in a way nothing else will transform their life. You can make as much money as you want. You can send them to the best schools you ever want. If you do this work in your life properly and you pass it on to your kids, it is priceless. I have seen it in action in children, and the impact is phenomenal. So if, as I start talking about this, you're worried that you've already passed on some dysfunctional program to your kids, it's a bigger incentive than anything to do this work on yourself, because you can undo it and you can make sure everything for them is amazing going forward in a way it wasn't for you, wasn't for me. So going back, think about what most people say to kids. Like literally, we come out, lots of us bounce into this world crying. One of the first things any human, any grown-up is going to say to us is, don't cry. It's well-intentioned. It's stuff we've just been taught as we've been brought up. So we just say it to the kids below us because no one ever taught the people above us. They're just passing it down to us. Don't cry. Don't be afraid. Don't be angry. Don't be jealous. There's all these parts of us that were taught are not acceptable. So we suppress them. And we suppress them in order to adapt, in order to be loved, in order to be accepted, in order to survive. But the problem is, over time, what that does is it takes us from being this whole human in the big circle to being suppressed, a suppressed version of ourselves. So we end up in this smaller circle. And what I describe that as is like a metaphorical village we've all been raised in. So if you were anything like me, I was raised by parents who told me I could be anything I wanted in the world. That's what they said consciously. But subconsciously, that isn't what they meant. They don't know this. They're not aware of this. I'm only aware of this because I've studied this for so long. What they meant was, you can be anything you want in this world as long as you stay inside the village. So what they wanted of me, my mum and dad were never more proud than when I was a lawyer in my old life. Because inside the village, that made sense to them. I could be the best lawyer I could be. They could be proud of me. We all operate inside this suppressed zone where they live as well. They live inside the village because they were taught to suppress all the parts of them when they were younger. They've just passed this down. So everybody's living inside this village. But we can never be truly happy in there, because inside there, our emotions are suppressed. The true version of us is suppressed. There's negative thinking, there's negative behaviours, there's negative actions. And if we ever want to be truly fulfilled, if we ever want to be truly peaceful and content, truly happy, feel fully loved, be in love, to the happiest we could ever be, we need to expand back out into the true self. But the problem is, think of that line around the village as a fence, but it's an elasticated fence. So you may have tried to break out of that village in your life in the past, and what you've found is you've managed to get out for a time and then it pulls you back in. And that's because all of this is going on at a deep subconscious level. So we have to understand how it's happening subconsciously in order to break out. And the thing is, this applies in different parts of our life in different ways. So there may be parts of your life, so with money, for example, where you've nailed this, you've got loads of money, you know how to live in the outer circle when it comes to money. But if your relationships are shit, your health is shit, your relationship with your kids is shit, you're not happy, that means subconsciously you're still living in the village for everything else. And this happens for lots of people in lots of different ways. Some people are super fit but can't get their money right. Some people have got great relationships but can't get fit. It's all about our subconscious programming. So the system I developed over the years, as I was looking at this, what I realized was I managed to transform my life because I was learning from all different people from all different places, therapists, coaches, spiritual teachers, all kinds, thousands of hours, over 100 grand in money at this stage of therapy costs and coaching courses and training courses and YouTube videos, books, podcasts, you name it, I've done it. And what I learned was, it was because it all came together that I was able to make transformations. What I've seen since I started coaching people over the years is someone would come to me who's just worked with a therapist and they've learned about the psychological side of things, they've learned about the emotions, but when you say to a therapist, what should I do in real life? They won't tell you most of the time. On the flip side, you might be working with a coach who teaches loads of hacks and tricks and things in real life to do, but you're not learning about the emotions and the psychology. So what I realized over time was I'd created a new system. I started saying to clients, what would you call what I do? And they all said the same thing, like, I've never seen it before. It's like a cross between therapy and coaching. And what I realized was, if you've created something new, you should give it a new name. So I call it EPR, Transformational Therapy and Coaching. So the EPR stands for emotions, psychology, and reality, because it brings together the three elements we need to bring together in order to transform properly. There's no point learning about the emotional side of things or the psychology side of things. So that includes your feelings, your thoughts, your ego. There's no point learning about those unless you're going to make changes in real life. So change your actions, change your behaviors, change your physical body. Likewise, there's little point in trying to change your actions and your behaviors in your physical body if you don't understand the emotions, the feelings, the thoughts, the ego, the subconscious that's going on underneath everything else, because they'll always pull you back. That fence will always bring you back in, because that's where your subconscious feels safe. This is the big thing. Consciously, we want to change, but subconsciously, we feel safe inside the village we've been raised in. It's why we don't want to leave. There's loads in this. It goes back to childhood programming, it goes back to society programming, it goes back to civilization programming. There's loads I can teach you, but that is the summary of it. And that's why, if we want to change our lives, we need to do all of it in order to transform. Hope that makes sense. If you're watching this on YouTube or somewhere else and you've got any questions, if you'd want to hear more about this stuff, there are links underneath in the descriptions where you can get more help from me. I only coach wealthy, high achieving men at this stage, very small number of people. If you're interested in my coaching, if you'd like more information, there's links below, there's some free training. Everybody else, I still want to help. I'll help for free. You can get more of this stuff. You can join my mailing list and you'll get all this stuff sent to your inbox and all other ways I can help you. And that's it. If you've got any questions, feel free to get in touch. Feel free to throw some questions in the YouTube comments and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. Take care. I'll see you soon.